we'll start with celebrations, Linda. So now that you've told us the horror stories without the recording, what are the celebrations?
Well, the celebration was it went smoothly for us. You know, once we got the printers and everything else, we never had really long lines, which is very unique. And what lines we did have moved very, very quickly. So from a conference perspective, it was a great 50th annual conference for them. And of course, you know that the book's coming out, and we're the magazine article came out. I'm doing a radio show today. I've been talking it up everywhere. Oh, I went to Frankfurt. Did I tell you that? Yes, I went to Frankfurt, and I won't probably know for another week or so what the result was. I'm looking for a bidding war of at least 3 publishers and you know, $30,000 or more.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, which would be great. But you know, we'll see.
Yeah, let's set that.
I don't really have a whole lot of expectations, but yeah.
Yeah, very cool. How about you, Ashley? What are you celebrating?
Celebration. We just got back from a vacation with the family. It was awesome. 4 days of relaxation, playing, camping in our trailer, and getting back to work. Full steam ahead, clients on the books. I mean, all of it's a celebration.
And you're getting your new website, right?
And I'm getting my new website, got the policies and procedures. Thank you for your help and guidance with all of the wording. Oh my goodness. Just to have someone.
That's always the hardest, isn't it?
It's like a load off my mind.
Good deal. Good deal. Lots of good stuff. Cool. Well, today's Techie Thursday, so we're going to, at least at the start, we'll focus on any techie kind of issues that are coming up. I was thinking this morning, it's like, okay, what do I want to share in terms of techie? And I think the one thing that I want to share right now, I don't know, neither of you specifically are doing Facebook ads right now, but you kind of want to keep up on it because you may want to do it. And I just wanted to kind of share that there are a lot of changes going on Facebook. You know, they're taking things out that people have always used. They're testing new formats. They've changed the whole layout of Ads Manager. So it's kind of Facebook ads changes on steroids right now. And it's interesting because, you know, I have a lot of people in my kind of community of experts that do a lot more Facebook ads than I do. And there's a little bit of, I would say, cautious unease in a sense, because it's like on the one hand they're excited that Facebook is doing some good things in terms of better reporting and some things like that, but on the other hand there's some things that they seem to be doing that are not necessarily positive for advertisers. So, you know, I think that the thing that came up for me as I think about all these changes is how, as marketers, we have to make sure that we don't put all our eggs in one basket. And while Facebook ads, in my opinion, are still one of the best ways to automate lead generation, particularly when you get your foundation messaging clearly in place and you know you have a message and an offer that's converting, you know, there's going to continue to be changes. And so we need to be looking at new kinds of things. What's next? So we've talked a little bit actually about Facebook Messenger. We did the last monthly pack on mini chat and Facebook Messenger. What else is going to be next? And really starting to think about that. Instagram, of course, is increasing in popularity right now. So while if that's still closely tied to Facebook, you know, there may be different things that happen with Instagram than what happened with Facebook. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there because I think it's something you should be aware of, and we'll see what's next. There's nothing else that I kind of am aware of that's coming on the heels of some of this other stuff, but there will be, I guarantee it. So any comments on that or questions about what's happening with Facebook? I could go over some specifics, but I don't think it's probably relevant right now anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I love is the fact that my admin takes care of all of that. So she's very aware of what's going on with Facebook and that kind of thing. And she also tells me when we should do an ad and when not to. So
yeah. Are you doing ads for the book launch? Do you know?
We did, yeah.
Mhm.
Again, there's the challenge of nobody can do anything. You know, I can do that, but nobody can do anything about it until the 24th.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm sort of looking at what could we do on the 24th that would get it out further.
Right.
You know, the videos and whatever we've been asked, you know, do you want to spend blah to advertise it? I'm going, well, yeah, in some respects I do, and yet I don't want to get people, it's almost like it's too far in advance for people to get excited about it, and then to remember that they're supposed to go to the web, you know, to Amazon and so forth. So I'd rather, I decided I'd rather wait until the 24th, buy the ad, and then just really blast it out at that point.
What, just so you know, for your next book, because you probably will be doing another one, one of the things that I've seen people do successfully for book launches is kind of a teaser campaign, that, you know, it's coming and really almost secretive, and they get people to click on something. So maybe something to be notified, like notified via messenger would make sense. And then they use everybody that interacted with that teaser ad, because they're cheap, because it's just a traffic ad or an engagement ad.
Right.
So they build a relatively large audience of those people, and then on the day of the launch, they spend pretty heavily to target directly to those people.
Okay.
So you get it in front of, let's say you get 1,000 people that interacted, then those 1,000 people, you advertise at a rate that maybe they see it a half a dozen times that day on the 24th to get them to click on it to buy it.
Right. Okay.
So just an idea for the future.
Yeah. I mean, I did a teaser campaign, but I didn't have people go. I didn't have people going anywhere.
You could still, let's see, could you? No, you couldn't, because it would be website traffic. Since you didn't have them go anywhere, there's no click for Facebook to pixel to track.
Yeah.
Very cool. You could also do video view ads. So you could do your teaser as a video view, and then that way you don't have to create a landing page or anything like that. You just capture the people that watched a certain proportion of your video.
Okay. Good idea. This is my first bestseller campaign.
Yes.
It's just me. You know, Rebecca has, I've done 7 with the anthologies, and then 2 of my own. It's like, whoa. You know, and the anthologies, I didn't have to worry about somebody else doing all that advertising. This is the first one really where we're doing a bestseller campaign.
Right.
I'm learning a lot, and because that's all I'm doing with Rebecca, there are moments when it's just a little bit disjointed, but I don't trust her team on a lot of things. And I don't like the fact that I can't talk to her team.
Okay.
You know,
who does?
She does. Everything goes through her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're doing an interesting slide video of the book that will probably go up on my website after the 24th. And it'll go on Facebook and all sorts of other places. I sort of want that bestseller ribbon before we send it out. Right. And I said to her, look, we'll put it together, but can you add the music? And she goes, my people can't do that. Either they do the whole thing or they do nothing. Okay. So we'll do it all then. And now she has to figure out how to reimburse me for that. Since I paid for it.
Right. Hi, Cutie. Hey, lady.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. They're so cute when they're that age, aren't they?
So cute and so sweet.
Ashley, how old?
She's 8 months.
My granddaughter just turned 10 months.
Oh.
She is two cute words.
That's a fun age. Very cool.
So
she was ground searching for food, so I figured I could have something fast here before, even though we cleaned it yesterday. It's
yeah, really.
Just to go by brother's high chair where he sits.
Forgive me, guys. Okay, so so be aware, Facebook, lots of changes. So let's jump into questions that you might have. Who has a technology issue or an automation issue? Doesn't have to be software related. Who's trying to make something more efficient? Questions around that. Yeah, go
Me.
Ashley.
So this, I was set up with GoDaddy for everything, and now I'm transferring over to the new website.
Okay.
And I have never really sent out emails, but I really, like you said, I feel like that is something that I need to focus on.
Right. Okay.
So for the subscribe, I need to now have them go somewhere. And I don't feel like my booking system is great, but I think that I want something else besides my booking system being my email.
Yeah. Okay.
So
so you can collect your names. You'll have contact information in your booking system when they book an appointment, right?
right.
Okay.
But I want that to go to my emails that I'll be sending out to people.
Absolutely. So the two that I would recommend would be my top recommendation, if you will, is Active Campaign. And the reason for that is that Active Campaign is, I call it the poor man's Infusionsoft. Have you heard of Infusionsoft? Okay, so Infusionsoft is like the industry standard. It has been for years, but there's also reason that it's called Confusionsoft. It's a behemoth, and it was kind of built as an all-in-one. It'll do everything but the kitchen sink. And for you, Ashley, 80% of it you don't really need.
Right.
And probably 50% of it you probably may never need. So no way Infusionsoft makes sense for you. And it can be as much as $300 a month.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, so Active Campaign, on the other hand, is a CRM that will grow with you, but you can start for $15 a month. That's for your first 500 subscribers, and it will do tagging so you can segment your audience, so which is important for you, that you'll be able to target. You want to create a sub list within your overall list of your prenatal, of your therapeutic massage, of your skincare, those three at least. You probably are going to want to create sub lists, because when you're doing emails, you don't want to send an email about why prenatal massage is so important to, the guy that's coming for shoulder pain or something. So it makes it really easy to segment your list like that.
Okay.
And it's $15 a month, so it is an investment, but in my opinion, it's an investment well worth it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're really like, you know what, I just can't invest a dime right now, then the second option is MailChimp. And MailChimp does still have a free version. It doesn't, MailChimp, you would have to create a completely separate list for each of those audiences I just talked about. They don't do tagging nearly as well as Active Campaign. In my opinion, setting up your emails is a lot harder in MailChimp. It's not as straightforward in my opinion. But MailChimp you can make work for the short term. So those are the two that I would look at. I have used both. Lori uses MailChimp. She still uses MailChimp for all of her mailings. And it's worked okay for her. It's just, to me, it's not terribly intuitive. But I've said this before about technology. Each of our brains is wired differently. And I so recommend when you're choosing a technology that you do, if there's a free trial, that you get a free trial to that you've narrowed it down to, and that you play a little bit, because what is really easy for you may not work with my brain. And even though it does the same thing, I may struggle with it where you find it easy. At the risk of confusing, I have that with Lead Pages and ClickFunnels, which is more to make landing pages and opt-in pages. Lead Pages has just never clicked with me, how they set up stuff. And yet other people absolutely love it and think ClickFunnels is really complicated. For me, ClickFunnels is so much more straightforward. So, but it's not right, wrong. It's just the way your brain works. So if you can get a free trial, they're always changing. I don't know whether MailChimp well, MailChimp has a free account, so you can get that anyway. I don't remember or know at this point if ActiveCampaign has a trial, but if there is, I would sign up for it and play with it a little bit. Just go in and just add in, my email and your email.
Right.
And play with sending an email. That kind of things. Play with tagging, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And see which one feels better to you.
Okay.
The other thing that you want to be aware of, no matter what CRM or email management system that you choose, is any integration that you're going to need to do with other systems. So one of the things that I would also do is I would contact, I'm forgetting the name of your POS system. It's a weird
Vagaro.
Vagaro. I'd contact Vagaro and ask them if they integrate with MailChimp or ActiveCampaign.
Okay.
Because what would be ideal would be that anytime someone books an appointment with you, that Vagaro sends that data to MailChimp or ActiveCampaign automatically. Yeah. So you don't have to be hand entering or uploading Excel files or any of that stuff.
Yes.
If I think for some reason, I think on one of our calls, did we check Zapier? Remember, were you on the call when I showed Zapier?
No.
Okay, Zapier is a software tool that will link programs. So it will link, I link ActiveCampaign and my Acuity scheduling with Zapier because there isn't a direct integration.
Mm-hmm.
So it bridges the gap between two software programs in terms of transferring data. But Vagaro, I'm kind of leery that Vagaro is on the Zapier list, that they have an integration because it's a relatively new POS system.
Right.
So that may not be an option for you. So start with Vagaro, see if they have any integrations with CRMs, and then free trial and play with it.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
And then good for you for knowing that you need to start communicating because
I do. Because otherwise I'm going to be running around in the middle of the month, counting everything and hoping that I have the enough money at the end of the month, and here I am scrolling through my emails, clicking on emails, and sometimes they resonate, sometimes they don't, but it's constant communication, and I really do need to up my creativity game because I have it, but I don't express it or share it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have so many things that you can promote education wise. That's a big part of your business.
Right.
So starting to educate moms and educating on, postpartum and menopause and the whole thing, because you're covering a wide range, age range. There's so much education that you can be doing that keeps you top of mind.
Right.
And that's so important. So important. Cool. So let me know what you think when you take a look at those.
Sure.
Cool. What else? Other technology things, automation things? Linda has her team that does all of her automation. I know.
Yeah.
She's so lucky. And Nicole does quite a bit for me too. I'm lucky with Nicole as well. But I'm kind of a geek, you guys know. So I still tend to kind of like to get into the programs and check stuff out.
Lainey thinks that's cool.
How about talk to me about processes that you're doing that feel like they're too labor intensive. Whether it's setting up, well, like Linda, setting up your badges. There's got to be a better way, frankly, that you can do those badges. Now, granted, you had some issues this time.
Yeah, I mean, FileMaker does a fantastic job. I've got a layout for it. As long as I have the right badge stock, it's seamless.
Okay. And you can print them all at one time. You don't have to sit there and reprint and.
Right. What I do though, because it drops out of an online system into FileMaker, so I do check, because people do a small case things or they'll do all caps, and I want them to be somewhat consistent. So I do go through that.
Right.
And then I sort. So I'll do those that have problems. Those always go first, and then it's presenters, board of directors, committee, exhibitors, the rest of the world.
Right.
And so again, I've got tagging as to who are you, and from that, I just print them out, and they go into piles that way.
Yeah.
But what is labor intensive, and yet I don't necessarily want to change it, is the fact that I have to tear, and I don't have to, but we do tear the badges apart.
Mhm.
We take off all of the excess
Yeah.
before we put them in the file. But it's mindless. So, you know, I
Yeah.
sit in front of the television set and, you know, and play with it.
Right.
You know, we've gone, actually in 24 years, we've gone from me having to input every form that comes in into the database to it comes
Right.
from a system, drops in, and all we do is print it.
Right.
So it's advanced quite a bit, and I'm thinking we may have no more than 2 years before the contract ends totally.
Mm.
I don't, you know, it'll be 25 years next year if they sign my new contract.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure they're going to be willing to, since I'm holding onto their money.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm sure they're thinking, well, if you really want a contract, you'll give us your money and you'll wait to get paid. And the answer is no.
Yeah.
I'm not betting on that at all.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. And you know, if they are in integrity, I can't imagine that they won't see that. I mean, it would be one thing if they were one payment behind, but to
Yeah.
be 6 months behind, I mean, come on.
I know. Yeah.
That's not okay. That's not treating your vendors fairly. Would they like to get paid 6 months after conference for a conference ticket?
Well, and we've had that. We actually had a school in Fresno pay us a year later.
Really?
They sent us a purchase order. We sent them an invoice. I called them like 10 times. Oh yeah. And then it just got dropped. So when they registered the next year, I called and I said, I can't register you with a PO until you pay us for last year. What are you talking about? So I found the invoice, sent it to me. Oh my God, we're so sorry. We changed systems, and this must have gotten, you know, lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
So they paid us and all that. But yeah, I'm not happy with them.
Yeah.
I know that there are other vendors out there that they are also in arrears with, but I don't want to get involved in that, especially since I have the money here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's craziness. Absolutely. Very cool.
So other than that, I mean, Carrie keeps me on. Oh, I know something to ask you. Do you have a site that you really like for music, free music?
I know the quick answer is no, I don't. I use on my Camtasia program. Camtasia has built-in music that's royalty free because it's part of Camtasia, but that Camtasia is a video editing program.
Right.
So unless you're using Camtasia, you're not going to have access to that.
Okay.
There is Bakery. Is that the name of it? It's a weird name that I've heard a lot of people use. What used to be Graphic Stock and is now something else. Let me see if I can get you that. They also have royalty-free music. It is now Storyblocks.
Okay.
Storyblocks has some relatively inexpensive music, and you can do a subscription. And for things like that, same thing with photos. If you need photos like for your website, Ashley, or something like that, where you need to get a bunch of photos, but it's in a concentrated time period, and you're not going to really be using a lot of photos going forward, then just get a 1-month subscription to one of these sites, download everything that you can possibly think of that you would need, and then cancel the subscription.
Right.
So you might check out Storyblocks, and there's one. Is it Music Bakery? It's. I'm gonna put that in and see if it comes up. It's royalty-free music by the Music Bakery.
Okay.
It's musicbakery.com.
Yeah.
And I've heard good things about it.
Okay. I looked at, I Googled royalty-free music, and I got a whole bunch, but their subscription price was so expensive.
Oh.
That it's like I need one right now. I need one song to put with this video that we're doing. But I'll check with the person who's putting the video together and see if she might use Campania.
Camtasia. The thing with that is you'd have to use it with a Camtasia video though.
Yeah, well, she's
Oh, if she uses it to
yeah,
create.
she's putting it together through Vimeo right now.
Okay.
I want to see if she can put it there and maybe pull the music from there.
Yeah, so you could upload it into Camtasia then.
Yeah,
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Okay.
And check out Graphic Stock, because Graphic Stock is one of the not Graphic Stock, Storyblocks is the new name for it. Because Storyblocks is one of the less expensive.
Yeah.
You know, I'm also going to check is, does Unsplash, do they have any audio? Doesn't look like it. It's just all images. If anybody's looking for cool, I'm going to say cool, use the word cool, photos, unsplash.com is really, I mean, they just have some more unique kind of stock photos that don't look as much as stock photos as sometimes as Shutterstock and some of those others look. So that's one that I've been using more, and they're free. So, you know, that's a big advantage, because like I have a subscription to Storyblocks, and I have a subscription to Dreamstime, because I do so many presentations. Like when I do my courses, I'll use 100 photos in a PowerPoint that I do for one of my courses. And that gets expensive if you're trying to buy those one by one. So that's why I do the subscription, because I build up the photos and then I'll use them. I'll use 100 at a time, and then I won't use any for 4 or 5 months.
Right. Yeah, I have a subscription to Dreamstime as well.
Yeah.
Where a lot of mine come from. The dancers come from that in the front of the book.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would check that one out.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, I can't think of any others. Music Bakery is the only one that I can really think of. There's an app. I think there might be an Apple one too, that you can get royalty-free music.
Okay. I'll get Carrie to check them out. She has so much fun when I give her these kinds of things, like check out, see what you can find.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. What else? Anything else you're trying to automate, or software that's not working right? Or just since, you know, it's just the three of us today, any business questions in general, what's next? Ashley, your website's just about done. What's next, my dear?
What's next is getting the special out there for the holidays, figuring out and starting that campaign now.
Yeah.
That's really what's next. I've been thinking last year, it was a really big hit, and I did it during the springtime. It was a lavender back scrub with a Moroccan oil scalp treatment.
Oh,
and
okay.
I did a head to toe facial, or I'm sorry, head to toe massage with that. So that went well, and I was thinking, why don't I just do that again for the holiday season, but maybe switch it up. Instead of doing lavender, do peppermint. Kind of goes over well, but not really. I don't know if I should try to find like a orange.
I'm just saying no.
like an orange spice, or
that would be good. Yeah.
Or like I've done rosemary and grapefruit before. Because it's, you know, but maybe try to find an orange spice. Yeah. Something a little bit warming.
That sounds very fall winter. To me, orange spice.
You also have for Christmas the whole frankincense.
Yeah.
Frankincense and myrrh.
People love frankincense.
It's expensive, but
it's very expensive. But I could make my own sugar scrub.
Yeah.
With
frankincense. Just get some oil.
Get some oil. Just get like a nice oil to go with it.
Yeah.
Or I do a frankincense scalp treatment and just put it in an oil for the scalp treatment, because frankincense helps with headaches and tension.
Yeah. And then of course you got rosemary and clary sage to grow hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea, Ashley, of doing something that's more holiday themed, and then it's perfect also good for gift certificates. You could do a special price on gift certificates for it. Because this time of year, gift certificates are huge.
And I've never taken advantage of the gift certificate season.
Okay.
So that would be, so if I do this, say I do the price, it's an 1.5-hour treatment, normally would cost, I think it's like $195, drop it down to $147 or $150.
Yeah, so if I may make a suggestion, the best promotion that we ever did for gift certificates was buy a gift certificate. So pay $197 and get a gift certificate for a 30-minute treatment for you. And then what happens is that nobody wants a 30-minute treatment, so they upgrade it.
Right. Well, and that's pretty much what I have made for my networking gift certificates is a $45 gift certificate to use with me with the option of upgrading. And that has been amazing. I think I had 3 or 4 redeemed from an event that I put
and most of them are upgraded, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those do expire December 31st.
Yep. So you use the same gift certificate, and when someone comes in and says, I want to buy a gift certificate for, I'm thinking about a gift certificate for my wife, and they're thinking about doing just the regular quote unquote, $105 or whatever you end up doing on your pricing for a massage, then you can say to them, well, I do have a special running right now for the holidays. If you buy this gift certificate for $195 that gives you all this wonderful stuff, for the fall, then you actually get a separate gift certificate for you, or you could give it to her too. So it's a much better value. So it'll up your price that they pay on the gift certificate too.
Okay. So instead of discounting the service, do the 30-minute add-on.
Yeah, everything that we did at the spa, you remember, we did our very level best to focus on adding value instead of discounting.
Well, and that's what I was doing, was I was taking my 1.5-hour massage price at $145 and then doing within the 1.5-hour, doing the scalp treatment and the salt scrub.
Yep.
And that's how I added the value.
Yep. Yeah. Perfect. Yep.
So that's okay. Hey, you know what? Aim big.
And your email, what you're talking about in terms of emailing, that's the perfect thing that you need to be emailing to everybody in your list to let them know about the special.
Right. And that's why I'm like, okay, I need to start doing that. And I have a panel that I'm on for Pelvic Floor next weekend. So I want to invite
people know about it. Yep.
Yeah. And what else? Yeah, I have a lot. I need to put myself out there more.
Yep. Visibility, that comes up for you just about every call, my dear.
I know. I need to put myself out there more. And I do great with one-on-one and setting up little networking events and going to networking things. And that's when I get that boost.
Right.
So I just got to keep it going. And that's a part of being a business owner and not just the therapist.
Yeah. And consistency is key on networking.
Yeah. And that luckily, as you know, being a people person, I'm at probably at least one networking event each month.
Yeah.
One networking event each month. And then I sit on the board of the Birth Network of Monterey.
Oh, that's great.
As their membership director.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives you a lot of visibility and credibility too. You need to keep that, that should be on your website, on your about me page, about Ashley. That should be on there.
Okay.
Because that's credibility. That
sitting on the board of the Birth Network of Monterey. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
And it also shows my passion that I have to give back to the community as well.
Exactly.
We don't get paid to do anything with the board.
Exactly.
We do it because we want to bring more events and different things to the moms.
Exactly. Yep.
To the community.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Awesome. How about you, Linda? What's next now that conference? The book is this week, and then once you're a bestseller, then what? What's the next big focus?
Looking at what kind of programs can I do. I know I want to do 4 one-days next year.
Okay.
Off the book. Towards, I need a break, but towards the end of next year, to write the action guide that goes with the book that has the rest of the steps in it.
Yeah.
I've already got it. I've written a couple of chapters for it already. But I want a lot of lined pages, with questions or whatever, so that people can actually work through stuff. So, somewhat like what you've done, but I'm not, with my own twist to it.
Yep.
I still have the conversations between the Virgin Mary and Mary Magdalene to talk about leadership. And Nancy and I haven't solidified when we're going to start that or whatever. Yeah. I'm sorry, I had to leave for a second because I got a phone call from Germany.
Yeah.
And Mary Beth said, Jill has a few interesting questions for you, and I'm not sure how to take this. So it was, what was your rank in the military? What were your jobs in the military? And how old are you? Which I thought was very interesting. It's like, what does it matter how old I am?
Yeah, that is very interesting.
So, I mean, all 3 questions were relatively interesting to answer, but it's like, so what does that mean? There's a publisher who wanted to know that. It's like, do they think that my stories and everything are too old? Or my guess is they haven't even read the book yet. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that was coming from. And I said, be curious, ask Jill if she's willing to share what that publisher was looking for.
Right.
Yeah. Why that? The first 2 questions are not a problem. Although when you read the book, it's in there. But why does it matter how old I am? Oh, in the U.S., you couldn't ask that question.
That's true.
So.
I mean, I can't imagine it's a credibility thing because, like you said, the stories are in the book.
Right. Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's good news, though. You got interest.
Yes, I'm getting interest, and what was really cool. I thought that Jill was just taking it and would be, in essence, hawking it around, kind of thing. She actually had another agent take my book and put it on her table.
Oh, wow.
So it's both in a static place as well as a walking around place. So I was really thrilled with that as well. So next year is, how do I monetize this? Yes, we've got the book, we have book sales and everything else, and I'm going to do book talks and that kind of thing. But I want to start training and mentoring again.
Yeah.
My voice is back, and I think it's important to take the book and really dig into it in workshops.
Yeah.
And on stages, paid speaking engagements, and thank you so much for that summit. It's been very helpful.
Yeah.
And all of that. So it's so I'm not sure where to go with that. I haven't gotten any guidance as to what that looks like yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I definitely would keep asking that question. What does it look like?
Yeah.
And maybe even, I don't know if where is the right question, but kind of like, what kinds of stages are you on? Is it industry kinds of conferences? More keynote kind of presentations? Is it doing your own workshops? Both. Really start getting curious about that question for you.
And the other thing that's coming up is corporate. I have a colleague, and she and I blend very well. She does sales magic, I do leadership magic. To take that into corporations and really get like a $50,000 purchase order to put on programs throughout the year, whatever you want to have happen. So there's that. Although I swore 33 years ago I would never go back to corporate. But I'm going back in a little different way.
Yeah, and this is a little different because you're helping corporate to evolve.
Yes. Yeah.
So to me, that's different.
Yeah, very much so. So that's the other thing that's coming up is what are we doing with corporate? So I mean, it's great working with entrepreneurs, and that's an area that we really need. But I got into a long discussion yesterday about millennials versus the kids who are between 30 and 40, my kids that are between 30 and 40, the Gen Xers.
Right.
And this particular woman thought that actually the Gen Xers were in more of a floundering state than the millennials. But the millennials knew where they were going. I'm not sure I agree with that. The millennials may know where they're going, but they're not getting what they want to make it happen. So
know where they want to go, but not, yeah.
And I agree, the Gen Xers, we haven't mentored them well enough. We haven't given them any idea of what a career path might look like. And, so they're just sort of, I mean, my youngest, not so much. She's in the hospitality industry and, has sort of drifted among several different jobs. But Jen works for Nationwide Insurance, and she's an executive assistant to 3 C-class individuals. But it's like I said, so what's your next job? How do you increase? She goes, I don't know. There's no
path. Yeah.
Path at all. Almost to the point where she's at the pinnacle of her path. So, well, what's lateral of that? And HR can't tell her. I'm going, when I was in HR, we could tell you exactly where you could go.
Right.
What you could do and how to prep for it and that kind of thing. They don't have that.
Yeah.
And there are no women willing who, I don't think willing is the right word, but who know how to mentor.
Yeah.
And so, that's something else to teach in corporate. How do you mentor? How do you set up that contract? How do you know when to end it? Yeah. And what do you each get out of it? So, yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah. Well, that's going to be fun to kind of develop that. What's next for you? And you see it as more group work than one-on-one, correct?
Yeah. It's interesting. Something else that's coming back around is the art of herding cats. I have a group who's doing something. I'm not sure. Becky wasn't real clear, but they're doing something to improve residual income for network marketers.
Okay.
And she said, I want you involved because of your experience and leadership in network marketing. And I said, okay, I'm going to send you the book, my potato chip book. Do you know why they call it a potato chip book? Because when you read it, you want more.
Okay.
You can't just have one.
Yeah.
You've got to have the whole bag.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I did too. So there seems to be some pullback to network marketing with cats. So we'll see where that goes as well. The model for that originally was one-on-one with the team leader,
right.
The person who was higher up, then doing group work with her team. So taking those key leaders within the team, teaching them, and then doing a certification program with whoever who could then teach it within the organization. But the materials obviously had to come from me. And then from there to an entrepreneurial foundation that can fund through grants, dance in the schools, music in the schools, whatever, but the arts primarily. Right. Yeah. So that's a model that's still there. It's just I backed out of network marketing when it sort of dawned on me that they don't really want to retain because their biggest hit is that first order bonus.
Right.
So yeah, I retain it and I've got residual income, but I really need this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, it's also, my experience at least is that it's the members themselves don't have a lot of money usually. So they're not willing to invest in training outside of their company.
Well, their company also tells them, we will give you everything you need. And I go, that's an employee mentality. That is not an independent contractor mentality. So you treat them as though they're employees. You tell them what to sell, how to sell it, what are the packages, how much does it cost. You really have no independent say in what you're doing. And yet they get paid as independent contractors.
Yeah.
The government would love, I'm surprised that the government hasn't done some kind of an investigation into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's
Yeah.
probably coming at some point.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's going to work. Becky wasn't real sure yet. So but she was one of my reviewers on the leadership book.
Okay.
And she said, but for whatever reason, cats is the one that keeps coming up in my downloads.
Interesting. Cool.
So, yeah.
Just an aside, Linda, if you know anybody in your sphere that does coaching for network marketers,
Yeah.
I need a referral. The person that I was referring to is no longer coaching network marketers. So if you know a coach that specializes in coaching network marketers, I would love somebody I could refer, because I still get them every once in a while. And I just made a decision not to work with network marketers anymore. I have over the years, but it's just too hard to, I mean, a lot of what I teach applies to them, but it's too hard when, like you just said, they don't have control over their own marketing.
Right. So I've got two people, one of whom there's a long history between she and I. Do you know Linda Sturdivant?
Mm-mm.
She primarily teaches around prospecting, phone calling, that kind of thing, but she is amazing at what she's been able to do. It's in essence getting over your phone phobia.
Yep.
And she's amazing. So I will send you an introduction to her.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
The other one is Debbie Hoffman,
Debbie Hoffman works with network marketers.
Debbie Hoffman was a one-star presidential in Geo Wellness before she went off to teach about follow up your.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, she was my upline.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I use her in my book as what not to do.
Okay.
You know, Debbie is the penultimate network marketing boss. I don't want to even call her a leader. In the fact that all she cares about is, what are you doing for me today? How many new people do you have on? Have you done your auto ship? What about your team? What's going on? And yet she claims to have this real deep relationship. And I go, Deb, we didn't talk for 6 months, and the first email I get from you is about what I haven't done this month. And I wrote her back and I went, and it's nice to talk to you too. It'd been nice to say, hey, how's it going?
Right.
And then say, is there something going on? Is there something I can help you with? It appears that. She goes, I was in a hurry. No excuse. That is not an excuse.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I mean, she appears to be really successful at teaching people follow-up. I also have a question about her integrity, because I caught some of that stuff in her, and she denies it, coming out of BNI.
Okay.
And they're and not giving them credit for it. As though it were hers. But she is the guru about follow-up.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I know her. I don't know her well, but I do know her. But I didn't know she worked just with specialized in network marketers.
Yeah. So my referral would be to Linda Sturdivant.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely would. It sounds like definitely that would be a better referral.
Better choice, yeah. Because those are the two that come up almost automatically. Yeah. Okay, I can do that.
Cool. Well, I know you've got to go to an interview.
Yes.
And
at 11.
Okay. Anything else that you want to touch base on? Ashley just popped off. So anything?
No, I'm good. As I get better ideas as to what I'm going to do, I would like some more time with you.
Absolutely. I think we need to. Yeah, I just need to really get clear on your vision. Which now that it's the two of us, how's Clark doing? Any?
He's done.
I'm just going to turn the recording off here. Hold on a minute. Where did my? Oh, that's weird. I got to move this up. Sorry.